We are back, and we're just going to do a little quick update video about some of the things that have gone on at Browns training camp, as well as a general overview of what's been going on with the rest of the AFC North, as well as there have been some developments that are a little bit interesting. But starting with the Browns, they had to cut their roster down to 80 players this week. So a couple days ago, they waived punter Joseph Charlton, safety Luther Kirk, offensive tackle Wyatt Miller, cornerback Parnell Motley, and tight end Marcus Santos Silva. None of them really surprises, although Marcus Santos Silva was the undrafted rookie basketball player, I believe, from Texas Tech. So it turns out we didn't get the next Antonio Gates. Boo-hoo. I guess not every... Antonio Gates is the exception, not the rule, but nothing too surprising there as far as who's getting cut from the Browns training camp. Obviously, this is right before the huge cut where they have to take their roster down from 80 to 53. There might be some more surprises there, maybe some more preseason standouts that don't quite make it because of the depth chart ahead of them or whatever. But for now, just some roster filler that the Browns have to just kind of cut off, especially a backup punter like Joseph Charlton. Seems to be a pretty easy choice. If the Browns have an answer for the center position besides Ethan Posick, whatever, however you pronounce his last name, it's not going to come in the form of JC Tretter. He has officially retired from playing the sport of football. He will remain president of the NFL Players Association. He did an interview where he said that he believes that his position with the Players Association kind of blackballed him from the league. And he may very well be correct in that assumption because, some of the negotiations with the previous collective bargaining agreement were very contentious. It was kind of seen as a minor miracle that there wasn't a work stoppage out of that. And relations between the owners and the players are still, not the best, although they got the CBA passed and it looks like there's going to be relative work peace. There's not going to be like a strike for a while, but when the next round of negotiations comes around, who knows? Although his bad knees didn't really help him that much, and honestly, there might be a lot of teams that just look at what he's asking for and what his price tag is and see him as an uncertainty and maybe not be worth that price, regardless of his standing with the Players Association. Although again, I'm sure that him being the NFLPA president doesn't really help him that much. So around the AFC North, the Bengals camp got improved a lot with Jesse Bates returning. Looks like he's going to be back for this season, hopefully with the mindset that this will be a prove-it year and look to get the bag somewhere else besides Cincinnati, where it's obvious that they're not going to give him the big long-term contract that he desires. Look, as a Browns fan, I would have loved it if Jesse Bates just decided to sit out the entire season and say, you know what, screw the Bengals, I hate you, and I'm never going to play down for you again. But that would probably tank his career and his earning potential. So this is what happens with most, holdouts when somebody's dissatisfied with their contract. They hold out for a while. They try to coax out a deal that they're probably not going to get. They eventually come back before week 1 or the last week of the preseason to play there, hopefully look really good. And when they hit actual free agency, when they can't be franchise tagged, they hope that they can get more money for longer term somewhere else. And that's what appears to be happening with Jesse Bates and the Bengals. In Steelers camp, Kenny Pickett and George Pickens have looked very good in the preseason for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And does Mike Tomlin throw Kenny Pickett out there week 1 to start? I haven't looked over the Steelers schedule, so I'm not quite sure who they're playing. Maybe if they're playing a premier defense in week 1, they might just throw Mitchell Trubisky, the MVP, out there. But if Kenny Pickett continues to impress and he looks really good in camp and he does great again in that final preseason game, can they justify throwing Mitchell Trubisky out there when it looks like they have Kenny Pickett, who might just be better from the get-go? That's definitely a really interesting decision. And with the Ravens training camp, Lamar Jackson still is not signed to a long-term extension. There's apparently some kind of cutoff date that Lamar Jackson has. Who knows if the Ravens meet it or not. That's the one saving grace for me right now about this Deshaun Watson contract, is that it has reportedly kind of messed up the negotiations between Lamar Jackson and the Ravens and all that. So I guess there's some silver lining anywhere. And also Isaiah Likely, the tight end they drafted this year, has looked very good in the preseason as well. So we talked about the Ravens and how their wide receiver core isn't tremendous, especially after trading away Hollywood Brown. if Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely are both threats in the receiving core for Lamar Jackson, then maybe that takes a lot of the pressure off of the fledgling wide receiver group, and that opens up some stuff for the Ravens. Again, obviously as a Browns fan, I hope that doesn't happen, but if Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews are legitimate receiving threats as tight ends 1 and 2, then the wide receiver group might not have to create as many opportunities for themselves as they might would have without 2 tight ends that are receiving threats like that out there. So that's essentially it for this video. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. Please leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed this video and like to see more like it. Let me know what you think about the Browns training camp and how it's going, and how some of the AFC North camp developments could impact each other's seasons and the Browns, and how the Browns play against the AFC North in general. Again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you with the next one.